Ty Law joins us on the Harbor One hotline. Ty, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How you guys doing, man?
We're doing well. I would just love to get your immediate reaction watching the conclusion of the Patriots-Raiders game Sunday.
You know what? I'm at a loss for words. I ain't like that too much. Well, let's give her a go. Now, how can you, with a Bill Belichick-led team, not understand the situation? Now, that is the most situational practicing coach that I've ever been around in my life. I played for 3 other teams in the National Football League, and I mean absolutely nobody does as much situational practice as Bill Belichick. It's uncharacteristic, so I can't put that on the coach. I'm going to put that on the player. And Wiggy, you know how much situation we did.
Yep. Oh,
the whole practice was situational practices. I mean, it gets on your damn nerves, but on a time like this, we've been playing football since we was 7, 8, 9 years old. Everybody knows when you're tied up, go down. It ain't like you're coming from trying to win the game. You're playing from behind and trying to win. You have an opportunity to play another down, to play another a series. I mean, the strength of your team is the defense. How in the hell can you not go down? Did you see Ramondre Stevenson's stat line, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all see that?
Yep.
172 yards, 19 carries. And now, but don't nobody talk about him, but he the one that got the goddamn party started. He the one that's pitched in the first place. Now, Jacoby Myers should have looked at that and be like, you big dummy, and what are you doing? And grabbed the ball and got down, but he was like, oh, I guess it's a party. And he going to sit there and do the same thing, and then he going to try to throw it back to Mac Jones, which I don't know what kind of throw that was. They say he was a quarterback. I can't tell. I can see why he's a wide receiver. Now, Mac Jones, let's get on him. He must have never, I'm talking about ever in his life, played defense. You know how you was born to play quarterback and you ain't played no other position ever in football? That was Mac Jones. That's what he looked like on that tackle right there. I'm talking about that was absolutely awful. It was embarrassing. I want to know if he ever, even in Pop Warner, played his defensive side of the ball. Because that was just awful. So they cost themselves tremendously, going in. They're going to need so much help to get into the playoffs right now because that is the game that they had to win.
Now,
okay, I'm done.
Now, Ty, which is, when you think about some of those things, it's like, wow, I've never seen a game end like that. And yeah, it was like, you brought me to the party. Well, guess what? I'm trying to bring somebody else to the party. It's one of them things that didn't work out. But when you look at this team, and, obviously it is, we talk about situational football and Bill and coaching. With all this stuff going on, is there any chance that they can pull something, a rabbit out of the hat here, and win 2 of their next 3 to at least get in the conversation, maybe even 3 in a row to write their ticket even better for themselves?
There's a chance, especially being, a pissed off team. Could you imagine going in right now? I would love to be a fly on the wall and let Bill Belichick and listen to him go over them low lights. Oh man, that would be absolutely hilarious. I would need that in my life right now because that is funny, guys. Y'all never been there, but when Bill Belichick get up there and he start putting it in slow motion and doing his commentary behind it, it is absolutely hilarious. So I can only imagine the chewing out that they're going to get, the funny, the one-liners, all that stuff. But they have a chance, Wiggy, a very slim chance.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, is Jacoby Myers, he still on the team day?
Yeah, I believe he's still.
Okay, I had to check because I can't check. Sometimes, you get an example. You never want nobody to lose their job. I'm just joking, but that's the kind of stuff that, depending on who you are, you can get an example made of you around there for that stupid stuff. LeBron's going to get a pass because he got 170-something yards. I don't know. You ain't got no excuse. You're supposed to pick up your boy's slack by doing something dumb by pitching you the ball and get down. So they have a small chance, Wiggy. They have a small chance, but I just can't. They're not playing consistent enough, across the board, and their schedule's not getting any easier. So I will be surprised, but they needed this one right here.
When you look at those final three games, though, you look at Cincinnati, Miami, and the Bills. Who do you think is the weakest link there for a matchup against the Patriots team? Because Cincinnati's hitting their stride at the right part.
Well, being that Miami has to come to New England, where it's going to be cold, they just lost 3 in a row. So I think that is the one that they can get. You know, I mean, factoring in the weather and everything, but that team is full of talent and speed, and, you know, I think that they can go out there and beat anybody, you know, healthy if they're clicking on all cylinders because they are that talented on offense. But Buffalo, they're in, they're rolling. I think they're vying for the number 1 seed. So they're not going to sit anybody out. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get in by guys saying, look, we're already in. Hey, I'm going to chill a little bit. I'm going to rest my starters. You're not going to have that right now. So they're all coming out to play. So to get 2 or 3 of these, that's tough. Miami. I say that's the one that they can because we're going to factor in the weather and being cold. And they lost 3 in a row. So they're in like a little losing streak right now. Cincinnati, they on fire. Joe Burrow, I like that quarterback. Buffalo, of course, we all know Josh Allen, you know, how great he is. So it's going to be tough sledding for the Patriots.
Talking to Ty Law on the Harbor One Hotline. Ty, for me, of all the things that I took away from the ending of that game, most of it was just indefensible. But the thing that shocked me was at the podium following the loss, Bill Belichick was asked about the final play call. And he said they didn't do a Hail Mary because Mac couldn't reach the end zone. 2 things with this were shocking. A, that Bill admitted that, if that's true. And B, what happened to the keep your cards close to the vest? What happened to we don't give any outside noise? It seems like such a deviation from how this team has been run for 20 years.
I'm surprised that I didn't hear it. I'm surprised that he said something like that. He usually keep it close to the vest. I mean, what is that saying about, you know, Mac Jones' arm? I mean, where were they at that point? I think if you give most quarterbacks in NFL, where were they at, Wiggy?
They were probably about the 4. They were just outside the 50-yard line.
It was 55.
Yeah, so 45-yard line. They're on 45.
Okay, and Ty, so you can hear it. Ty, hold on one second.
Mac Jones can't do it. Okay.
I'm going to have you listen to Bill Belichick so you hear the exact comments. Here he was.
The final play situationally, how do you weigh what was called as opposed to taking a shot at the end zone?
Taking a shot at the end zone?
Yeah, like a Hail Mary, 55 yards
couldn't
away, getting it as deep as you could.
Yeah, couldn't throw it that far.
That's what he said post-game.
Well, you know what? See, he might be saying overall we couldn't throw it that far, but I don't know if he was saying specifically, you know, Mac Jones, because if you're in the NFL and you can't throw the ball 55 yards for a Hail Mary to the end zone, something is wrong. Either he got some shoulder injury or arm injury that we don't know about, but he should be able to make it 55 yards. I think you and I can come close, Wiggy. Hell, and we ain't quarterback. Do that. You know what I mean?
No, I get you.
I don't know where he's going with that one, but you know, I think you're starting to see him get little breakups in there a little bit, guys. It's like that's not even Belichick. It's uncharacteristic with the team. It's uncharacteristic with Coach Belichick is saying. So I don't know what's going on around there, but it's some trouble in New England, brewing in New England, you know, because they're not living up to expectations. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens these next couple games. And if they don't make the playoffs, believe me, it's going to be quite an overhaul, you know, during this offseason. They're going to bring new guys in, and they're going to get some guys out.
Ty, you're not
probably more than they normally do.
You're not the only guy that disagrees with what Bill said, because Mac Jones on this station yesterday said the same thing, that he doesn't agree that he couldn't have made that throw. Is that relationship too far gone if you have 2 guys that seem like they're on completely different pages and they're kind of outwardly saying that to the media?
I mean, anything, can be fixed. You know what I mean? With the conversation, and especially during the off season, you're going to have a lot of time to think about things and repair relationships. It's not always perfect. Sometimes, you know, sound bites get misconstrued and taken out of context, and it drives a wedge, you know, between player and coach, you know, teammates or whatever. But I don't think Bill Belichick is going to let that happen. I still think Mac Jones is the quarterback, you know, of the foreseeable future with the Patriots, and that's something that'll be fixed. It's everybody else around him Those are the guys that got to worry. Mac Jones is good. Believe me, he ain't going nowhere. Let's stop all this. Tom Brady might come back for 1 year and all that dumb shit. That's not going to happen. Mac Jones is the guy. Bill Belichick is still going to be the coach if he decides to want to continue to coach, and I think that he will. And they're going to just do an overhaul. They're going to keep some of the key guys, and they're probably going to go out for a change and spend some money in free agency to get back, in the mix to be more competitive. But they got to spend some money too, so I'm gonna put that out there.
Ty, the one thing that we've seen this year that is unlike years past is just some of the information that's getting out, whether it's players saying this or injury stuff getting out. What do you think Bill has to do different as far as the way he coaches players of today's game and just the way that maybe they're in this kind of social media world? Like, how does he have to change his, maybe not his coaching style, but just his personality of dealing with players that it seemed like are a lot different today than when we played?
Well, I think I think Coach Belichick has to bring in some coaches like we had that demand a certain amount of respect, where he doesn't feel like he has to wear so many hats. Had the Romeo Cornells and even Josh. You didn't have to worry about anything else. Now Coach Belichick is not only the head coach, you got to deal with the players. He's trying to figure out what's going on in the game plan. But now, okay, who's going to be the offensive coordinator? He's sticking his head in that meeting room and all that stuff too. So I think he's wearing too many hats. And then, hey, his coaching tree, those guys going to get other opportunities if they come back. But he doesn't have a consistent coaching staff that demands the respect, of the players. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. Because think about it. Think about the coaching staff. When you're talking about Rack and Rob Rines and the people that we had, Wiggy, Belichick ain't have to do nothing but be a head coach and facilitate, because they had it. They had the utmost respect, for the players. They'd jump in your ass if they needed to. You know what I mean? Right. I don't know if they're doing that right now.
Right.
With that coaching staff.
I almost feel like the players are not scared of Bill. Like, I feel like that has changed, because you brought up a great point when you talked about Jacoby Myers. There are guys in the past that have done that, and they would absolutely be cut, and they wouldn't be seen from again. I almost feel like that fear factor that he once had, guys for some reason are no longer scared of him, or at least they're scared of him in the sense of how he coaches.
You know what? And I think I don't think you need to fear a coach, and I just like anything else. You're never supposed to fear anyone, but you respect them enough to where it's a little bit on the edge of fear what he might do. You know what I mean? And I remember when I left, a couple years afterwards, Vince Wilfork, he was still there. He was like, "Man, it's different. It ain't like when y'all was here. I don't know. It's just something different. It ain't the same. It ain't the same locker room. It ain't the same type of guys." He said Bill is being a little more lenient nowadays. That was coming from Vince Wilfork. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's Bill old age or whatnot. I'm getting tired, or you need, And I think that players should be the one policing the locker room too. So let me get that out there. Players should do that. Bill shouldn't have to come out there and police the locker room, police the culture like that. The players have to create that, and I just don't think that they have the type of players that are staying with tradition, as far as the Patriot way and the culture that was started years ago. No one's a part of that era. No, when Tom Brady was there, he remembered. You can look to Tom. He knew how we got to this point. Who on that team can say, "Hey, I've been there long enough to know what it is"? Devin McCourty. Is he a real vocal type of guy? Is he that type of leader? I don't know. I was never in the locker room with him, but he is the only one that they can look at and say he's done this, he's had this much success. But I don't know how vocally he is.
Ty Law, that was sensational. Thank you so much. You have encapsulated, I think, the feelings of a lot of people with your credibility in that locker room. We appreciate your time today and this year. Hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. You guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll talk to you guys next week.
All right. There goes Ty Law. Mm-hmm. Can't get much better than that, folks.
No, he's the best.